fun camp out night with the kids, and the woods are completely alive.
What do you think he saw?
I saw one!
I'm Seth Breedlove, a documentarian and Bigfoot enthusiast who lives in Northeast Ohio. In 2015, I made a movie about a string of Bigfoot sightings that took place just outside of the town of Minerva back in the 1970s. Located on the northeastern edge of the state of Ohio, Minerva was once a bustling railroad town and major stop along the famed Lincoln Highway. These days it's known for dairy cows and as the home of the Minerva Monster. In 2021, Small Town Monsters researcher Heather Mosier, her husband Corey, and her 3 children moved into a family farmhouse outside of Minerva. The house is surrounded by hundreds of acres of family land, which is mostly a mix of farm fields and forests. Shortly after moving in, Heather and her family became aware of strange activity on the property. They invited me out for a weekend stay in a hunting cabin which sits nearly in the geographic center of the land. We had some strange occurrences that first weekend while staying in the cabin with my friends Alexander Pedikov and Eli Watson, and I decided to begin staying at the cabin whenever the opportunity presented itself, which is why I'm here now.
You know, I was talking before about most of the farms are still, still the farmland, but occasionally here or there's some that got sold and some houses got put up. I remember years ago the one farm was sold and it got plotted out, and geez, there's maybe a dozen houses over there now that it was just all farmland before. And then obviously people know about this area, when they found the not oil and gas and stuff, and so then the fracking came in. I was talking with someone the other day about how prior to that there had actually been people thinking that there were sightings, and a friend of mine actually said that they had seen something and thought they had maybe gotten a cast of a foot. And I don't know if you've heard, I'm sure you probably have, about the tree or the deer up in the trees. And some people were speculating it was
that.
But
expand on that. What do you mean deer up in trees?
There were numerous stories of people finding deer that were killed, like necks twisted and then up in trees.
Did you know anyone that actually had that happen?
I know of some people. Yeah, I didn't go there, but I knew people that said that they saw it. People that I was on the fire department with. That, I know them as people. I believe that they didn't do it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That doesn't mean someone else didn't go on their property and do it to them.
Yeah.
But I know that they know they didn't do it, and I know they think that it was something other than people. But it's also been 3 or 4 years since there's really been any fracking going on because of the way things have gone with the price of things. It hasn't been beneficial, I guess, to drill at the time. So that's all. A lot of that's been put on hold, and now there seem to be sightings again. And I don't know. I don't know if that means that they went somewhere else or if they just tucked into nooks like that over there where no one was bothering them. I don't know.
On our first weekend of spending time at the cabin, I really didn't expect too much. I whiled away the better part of the afternoon wandering the property with Corey and getting a history lesson of the area. Bigfoot sightings here date back decades. Even as far back as the 1950s, there was talk of hairy creatures in the woods around northeastern Ohio, while the oldest sighting in this part of the state was recounted sometime in the 1880s. Neighbors have heard strange sounds, and Corey's own mother had a sighting of a hairy ape-like creature in the field behind her home just a mile down the road. There are also numerous instances of wood knocking, which we had all experienced just weeks before while visiting the property for the first time. Wood knocking has become the butt of pop culture-fueled jokes in recent years, but here in the forests of Minerva, something that isn't human is using opposable thumbs to smash wood against wood for some undetermined reason.
It is night number 1 of the shoot. Sitting out on the porch of the cabin. There's nothing much happening currently. I haven't been out here that long, to be fair. But earlier there were some calls across one of the fields at the top of the ridge from where we are right now. We don't know if those were actual calls, like whether animals or what, because apparently there's a dirt road back in there and it could have been an animal of some sort. So we're just not sure what that was. But I'm here. I've got Tommy is here as well.
Who's down there?
No one's down there.
Who's that?
That's you. I'm up at the Rougarou Woods. Yeah, that tree line right there, that's where I was hearing it. Right over there. This is the woods where Alex and Eli stayed when they were filming Beyond the Trail. And this is where you were leaving things, yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's nothing here. But anyway, that's where I put.
Hold on. Let me swap out a night shot. So what's in here?
Alright, so geodes and different crystals and stuff. This geode is the one that gets tossed around all the time. It ends up in different places, and it's the one that, when it disappears, there's something else in its place.
Okay.
So the one time it was a bone, the other time it was a crystal that had disappeared weeks before it came back. But I take pictures so that if they move, I know. Alright, so 2 nights ago at this point?
I mean, it wasn't night.
It wasn't night, no, but it was like 2 days ago. It was the day you got here. My son asked to go up and just explore a little bit, and I guess within 10 minutes of him leaving the house, he came running back, absolutely terrified, heart going a mile a minute, and he told his dad that he came up here and just let out a yell, like a whoop, for fun, and got one back almost immediately that he said, his words were bigger, louder, and meaner than his. And then he said he thought he saw something turn and walk away in the woods that was big and furry. And he said it looked like its eyes were almost glowing underneath the fur, but he couldn't see much of the face at all. But anyway, he ran back home, and this is a little boy that likes to be out for as long as possible. So for him to come back in 10 minutes and be terrified was just a little odd. And those were these woods.
So that first knock that happened, I don't know yet if you guys will hear that or not, but yeah, basically there was a knock right at the top of the hill over here. So I'm outside the cabin. Cabin's behind me here. I think you guys can see that. Yeah, that's the cabin. This is me. That means this hill right here, that's the hill where we've heard a lot of like weird sounds and stuff. That really 100% just sounded like a knock. I'm hoping that is caught on camera. My response clapping was just clapping back at a noise right on top of that hill. If that was a knock and we captured it, that would be the first knock captured, but that's the second very clear knock I've heard in this area. What do we got, Heather?
Oh, this is one of those parabolic dishes.
That we bought for like $40 on Amazon.
For hauntings, actually. Look at us now, yo.
We've come so far.
We've come so far.
Did you hear that? Up this way? Did you hear that? Get the other camera. They're here, man.
Okay.
And then just tell me if something happens back here.
Okay. You have your phone on you? Okay.
branches or something breaking up here. Got something further on up the road up here. Up that way. There are more noises right now surrounding where I am than I have heard alone in a situation like this before. There are clear footfalls up here. Over here, there's something moving around, which would be up the hill. This area is where they are. They're up in there. You can hear them, clear as day. You can hear something moving, big. Branches are breaking. Keep in mind, we're in Ohio. There aren't really black bear here. I mean, there's black bear, but not many. It's something big. I don't think it's deer. Do I move forward or are we here? Those look like eyes. I can't even see that though. They're literally in front of me. Are you hearing this? That knock, that clear knock, that was right up here. And there's something on my camera that I can't tell. Turn that light off. I can't tell if it's eye shine. There's something up on this hill watching me. Okay. But we got sounds literally in every direction right now. And those eyes are gone. So it's gone. It was eyes. Let me swap over. Switch me. Yeah. Are the kids okay?
Mm-hmm. I told Corey to stay with them.
Huh?
I told Corey to stay with them. They're inside. Do you want to walk forward or no?
Won't do us any good.
They're done moving for now?
Huh?
You think they're done moving for now?
Yeah, they're not. If we start moving toward them, nothing's going to change. You're not going to rush them in the dark either, which is normally.
That's the Rougarou Woods. That sounded like one of those drums almost.
Heather, this is nuts.
Yeah.
We've got at least 3 knocks on camera. I'm hoping that last one is on camera. I don't know how the audio is picking this up because all we're using right now is in camera. We just had one from the top of the ridge up here. We've had one from right up the road down there, and earlier we had one from the other side of the pond. All clear as day. These aren't. It's not wood. There's something else moving that's big.
Yeah. While you came down here, something ran behind the cabin.
This is literally like this was supposed to be fun camp out night with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
First night of shooting this series. And the woods are completely alive.
By this point, it was around 10 p.m., and the noises in the forest were coming from all directions. Besides the wood knocks and footsteps in the dark, Heather and I heard multiple underlying vocals that almost sounded like a distressed sheep. However, these calls weren't picked up on the video cameras. As we attempted to make sense of what was taking place in the forest around us, an object was thrown from the hill that overlooks the road we were standing on. It could be heard crashing through the leaf canopy as it comes horizontally toward where we were standing. It crashed into the ground right next to the trail we were on with a thud that could be felt as well as heard.
Oh. Wait.
Okay, now they're throwing stuff.
Okay, so cool. You're not going to leave me.
I wasn't running. They're all around us. I mean, they're here. It's more active than X in terms of percussion. It's not, I haven't heard the same vocalizations or anything yet.
Does that come before or after the rock throwing?
I don't know. I've never experienced a rock throwing like that. When I heard a rock throw, it sounded, when I was previously had a rock throw incident, it was like they were just having fun. Something about that felt a little different. That was a big rock.
Yeah.
When it impacted, you felt it.
I just heard something up to the right.
Yeah. Like every movement is loud. Why?
I mean, they're messing with us.
Alright, I'm heading back right now.
Okay, well,
You good?
no, I think so.
One thing I want to make sure we're doing is checking the trees.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think typically Bigfooters slur the ground or thermal the ground, and the Catons and other people in the area that have had encounters claim they see them in the trees.
Right.
And some of the sounds we heard tonight seemed high.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very high.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What's weird is it's only like probably 10, just after 10, and it seems like it's now getting quieter. Even the bug, even like the insect noise seems like it might be getting a little louder. It didn't die or anything. That was weird. Everything was weird.
That night, the Mosier family stayed in the cabin with my son and I. In the early morning hours, I was woke by what sounded like asthmatic breathing and a strange, deep version of speech emanating from the window behind my bed. I got up, grabbed a camera, and headed outside to see if whatever was on the other side of the window was still around. Heather also heard it and got up to follow me outside.
It's 2:37 a.m. They're out here talking. I woke up to like guttural speech. And it sounded like it was right outside the window. Yeah. What?
Guttural speech just sounds
I got no.
However, the rest of the night passed without incident.
You had mentioned the like, I mean, I guess it's a legend growing up around that area around the cabin that was like an Indian burial ground.
As a kid, when we were farming and baling on this one long stretch of field, which maybe you have on some of the footage, that we would have to pick up a lot of rocks to get ready for plowing and stuff, and remember wagon loads of rocks, and oftentimes arrowheads, and I don't know if it's a true story or not. I just know that I was told that there had been a burial ground in that one woods where we set one of the cams the other day. And,
Yeah, we've had stuff happen here, and I feel like even when I first met Corey's mom, she would tell me stories about things that she saw just in the house or whatever that made her uneasy. And I know his sister had issues as well. And we've had people out here, friends out to do different type of investigations just because it's an older house, so it's fun to play, I guess. And we had stuff happen when that was going on, with things coming across the spirit box or whatever. And
There's a graveyard.
there is a graveyard. It's just off the property, and it's from the early 1800s. I went to the local, or the county historical society and the genealogy library, and tracked that down. That it was mostly a family. It was like a family cemetery, and I think that most of them moved away after the flu, like the outbreak of the flu in the early 1900s. There's a house not too far, because this whole area has ghost stories like that.
Right.
But we're not far from where the Great Trail was, and so there was a lot of movement with Native Americans in this area, period. But then also old stagecoaches and stuff would be going through here, and there's a family just a couple miles away that they've heard at night the stagecoach going through, the wagon and the horses and stuff.
You had asked about when we built the cabin, and like I said, that's been in the last 15 years or so. But one of the things that did happen when I was a kid, I was probably 8, 2 different summers, so probably when I was 8 and then 9, each summer we planted about 25,000 trees. I guess, I don't know if it was a summer because I was a kid, but I mean, each of those years we planted about 25,000 trees each year on a lot of the steeper slopes. And now that it's been 40 years, the trees are tall, big, and then other trees have started in.
Was it pretty much just field up there, or what?
It was fields, and it's wonderful now. But what it did was it took that little valley, that little nook there where the back lake is, and just almost completely enclosed it. You know, there's just that one opening with that one field, and then otherwise that whole area where the natural spring and the lake is and the cabin is it's completely enclosed. And so in the last 40 years, it's just really become a little haven back there. And then with my brother and I both being gone, and my sisters are both gone for the last 10 years, there just really hasn't been anyone around except for occasionally a family friend that bow hunts here and there, you know, and that's not a major intrusion. So there's just really been a good solid 10 years of no one back there, and it being enclosed, and even back there it's a pretty comfortable place to be. So anyway,
we're gonna go set trail cameras. So yeah, that's what we're doing. I'm very consciously not putting trail cameras around the cabin because I do think they avoid these things. That isn't exactly why I'm using trail cameras. I'm not really using trail cameras because I think I'm going to get evidence of Bigfoot. I'm using the trail cameras so we can see what type of animals are in the area, and then maybe sort of push things further toward the cabin by placing them in areas where they may avoid now. So that's what we're doing.
Looks like it.
yeah, the cabin is just up here to the right, so we could set something up.
I was going to say, we might actually want
a tree directly up in front of us in an angle, because there's the cabin. So, you know,
As I place a trail camera.
That is a cool building.
we used to come up here all the time, sneak up here and go through it. I actually have a flag with 48 stars that I found in there that I kept in touch with. I digging through. There's tons of old magazines and things from the 40s and stuff in there. Although, since it's been 35 or 40 years since we did that, they might not still exist.
Right.
After the previous night, I really didn't expect much the following day. Maybe some more wood knocks or some sort of eerie nighttime activity. We were out in broad daylight, placing trail cameras on a sunny, early fall day. Not exactly prime Bigfoot hunting time. But that's the thing about this subject that I'm starting to realize. There is no right or wrong way to go about it. You're either in the right place at the right time, or you're not. All the stuff about Bigfoot only being seen if it wants to be, or how you have to be a trained, military-minded, next-level forest ranger, all the guys who get camoed up and insist on certain behavior, it's all irrelevant. Put yourself in the right situation, in the right environment, enough times, maybe you'll see one too.
he saw.
I saw.
Did you hear it on camera?
I don't remember.
You don't remember. What'd you see?
I saw a huge black object run across that pipeline at full burst right as we came through there. I don't know how to fast forward on this thing. There's nothing out there. If it was a deer, you would hear it moving away. So either I saw things, or I saw a Bigfoot.
Oh, you're still recording this one, right?
Did you just hear that?
I've been hearing some thumps. You know that when Alex was here before, and then even just the other night, you were hearing more than one thing, you know? And I've watched plenty of deer cross. The first one always shoots across, and then the others are lagging behind. You might have interrupted something, and now there's some over there and some over there, and
That's a possibility.
maybe that's why they're still lingering. They're kind of like trying to figure out where to cross.
I'm almost positive I saw Bigfoot sprint across that pipeline that day. Covered in dark brown hair at a dead run from anywhere from 0.8 to 2 seconds was all the chance I had to see it. But it was there. As time has gone on, I've begun to piece together what I saw that day. And with subsequent trips back, I found even more pieces of the puzzle. When we reviewed the footage the following day, there was no creature caught on camera. Whether due to the shakiness of the cameras being jostled about in the moving ATV, or the fact that the creature's path placed it behind the brush, I'm just not sure. The rest of the day passed without event, and that night, as we sat by the cabin call blasting various sounds into the still evening, I found myself consistently replaying the sighting in my head. The remainder of the weekend was quiet. There was no activity last night. Nothing exciting happened. We had maybe 2 distant tree knock sounds, percussions. And this morning, actually, I woke up and just, for no apparent reason, just did a tree knock right outside the cabin, and there was an immediate response at the top of the hill from the area that we call the Rougarou Woods. So that was cool, but nothing on the level that we had the previous night. And I think that speaks somewhat to the validity of what happened the previous night. There clearly was a lot of activity going on that isn't typical of these woods. Some interesting things have come up too just in the last couple days being out here. One of them is just noting the differences between the way we think Bigfoot behaves in certain parts of the country versus other parts. But one thing I've noticed since I've been here is that even with all the percussions and the movement in the woods, we haven't had any clear, distinct vocals. And I think it's really telling. There's a farm right back here on this side over here. Heather and Corey live in that direction. There's a neighbor over there. They're distant. I mean, there's tons of land in between each property, but there's people. And so maybe they're not as vocal as they are in places like the Ouachitas in Oklahoma or, Washington, where you get these really amazing vocals that are recorded in the woods. But regardless, I'm excited to keep going with this and to get some other investigators out here and kind of get their take on the property and what might be going on here. But there's just constant activity here. Like even last night, even though it was dead compared to the previous night, we heard stuff that didn't make a lot of sense. And even now I'm hearing movement over here in these woods. And, it could be deer, it could be coyote. We know there's a lot of coyote here. I'm up by the abandoned house right now. So I think introducing everyone to this property is going to be really exciting, and seeing what else happens here over the next however many months we stay here. I mean, I'm planning on making it, maybe a year-long endeavor, and just really focus on the area and get back here as often as possible and make episodes for each return trip. I think that's it for now.